Hi, everybody. Today we are in the sailing vessel Gyrfalcon, 2019 Sunreef 60, built by Sunreef Catamarans in Donetsk, Poland, and I am Captain Sill.
I'm Helen and I'm the chef.
Hello, everybody. My name is Liz, and I'm the first mate on Gyrfalcon.
Great. So, how'd you guys get into the yachting industry down here in the Virgin Islands? What's your background? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up on the east coast of Canada in the Maritime Provinces. As a young boy, I took sailing lessons for 9 consecutive summers at my local yacht club. So I have an extensive background in sailing. I've been sailing most of my life in some capacity. I took my first family charter in the late 90s to the early 2000s here in the Virgin Islands, and I was bitten as soon as I landed here. So my goal was to, when I transitioned out of my entrepreneurial career, that I would become a professional yacht captain. And I pivoted out of my entrepreneurial career and set about to get my captain tickets and all my prerequisite tickets, and started performing professional charters. I have multiple seasons of experience here in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere around the world, but I always seem to gravitate back towards the Virgin Islands because it is really truly a paradise.
Perfect. How about you, Helen?
I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Both of my grandmothers were great cooks, so I grew up cooking from a very young age. I graduated from Le Cordon Bleu French cooking school in 2007, and I went on to cook for celebrities and professional athletes throughout greater Los Angeles, Malibu, Orange County areas. I grew up fishing summers in Baja California, Mexico with my family. My grandfather owned a commercial shrimping boat, and I come from a large fishing enthusiast family. And I always loved being on the water and cooking. And when I moved to Florida 4 years ago, I knew that I would have the opportunity to combine both my passions, which is cooking and my love of the water.
Great.
All right. I'm from North Carolina, and being from that location, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to spend a lot of time near the ocean growing up as a kid, boating, paddling, sailing, all of that stuff at summer camp. After college, I was given the opportunity to join crew to do a delivery of a boat down to the Virgin Islands, and the rest is history. I've been in the Virgin Islands since 2010, fostering that love of the water and all things water sports, scuba diving, paddling, snorkeling, and now a little bit more sailing.
Fantastic. So I know you guys have some charters under your belt. Would you guys mind sharing some memorable stories or a story from one of those charters?
Yeah, absolutely. Something that we all believe is important here is that we are able to facilitate really meaningful experiences for our guests. And we had a family that all came together from all around the world. They flew in from all over to spend time together and to watch them multiple times throughout the week give toasts with one another and just talk about how fortunate they were to have each other and to be able to have this time together. Lots of hugs, lots of kisses, lots of tears, and to be able to witness that and to facilitate that is really special. That's kind of what it's all about.
Absolutely. Totally agree. All right. So, what are some of your favorite activities you like to do with guests on board? What makes you guys stand out? What makes you guys unique on charter?
I think the fact that we have a 10-pack boat, which is a very busy boat while we're on charter, and the fact that we're a mature crew, we keep our focus. We're goal oriented while on charter. We're very focused, very very there to please and serve our clients. So we don't get frazzled very easily, and because life throws us curveballs every day. But we perform our charter service plan and customize our itinerary and adapt very well. So that is very a very strong thing to offer our guests.
Fantastic.
We have a lot of guests that love eating and love food in general, so I am always happy to share a recipe or offer tips and tricks to people can prepare their own food the way that they like at home, or even duplicate a recipe that we've done here on the boat. That's really close to my heart.
Very cool. Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about your Falcon a little bit. What is your favorite feature or features about the boat?
Well, Gyrfalcon, as I mentioned, is a 60-foot catamaran, and it's got about a 33.5-foot beam. So it's very roomy, very roomy. There's lots of room to maneuver around in the cockpit, inside the salon, in the berths as well. The decks are very easy to travel upon. So basically, the travel ways leading from aft the boat to the bow are very spacious. The decks are very level or even. There's not a lot of differences with 3-foot drops or 3-foot rises and such. So you can move on the boat very confidently. But of course, we always suggest that the guest has multiple points of contacts and such for safety. But that is one of my favorite aspects of the boat. The boat feels safe. It's strong. It's a heavy boat. Sails well. Even when we encounter maybe sportier conditions, as captain, I feel confident that this boat will get us through it.
Definitely.
I really love the multiple areas to lounge and relax, to take a nap or read a book, or just enjoy a sunset, or even cuddle with a loved one in a quiet space. Love that.
My favorite thing about Gyrfalcon is actually the tender lift. Upon first getting on board, you'll see that it is just a platform that we use to lift the tender out of the water while we're underway. As the week unfolds, you'll see that it's actually multifunctional. It's motorized, it goes up and down, and we use it as a great space to launch water sports, a swim platform for people to safely and comfortable get in and out of the water, and just kind of allows that freedom for people to enjoy the underwater world in any way that they want to.
Definitely. That sounds amazing. All right. So, which hidden gem or lesser known spot do you love to take guests to on charter?
Well, for my part, there are so many, and basically, I always gravitate back towards Norman Island. That was the first island, the first bay that I visited on my very first charter here in the Virgin Islands, and it's got a lot to offer. I always reference some of the guests like to suntan or basically do the iguana. So they're basically laying in the sun, enjoying cocktails or what have you, reading a book. Or some other guests might be more active. So I know that area can basically satisfy and accommodate all of these things. There's also the caves on Norman Island that are supposed to be related in some way to the book Treasure Island, which I actually bared down last summer and read it while I was cruising in the Med. So we have references for that bay, and that's where I normally gravitate to somewhere in our itinerary.
For some guests that choose to eat off the boat, either lunch or dinner, I highly recommend Saba Rock, which is a beautiful, delicious restaurant on its own island with a resort, and you have the most beautiful sunsets there.
Definitely.
It's really hard for me to choose. There's so many beautiful places here, but I always am sort of drawn to the bubbly pools, which is situated on the east side of Joost van Dyke. Joost is known as being a party spot. You go and find all of these world famous beach bars there, but out on the quiet east side, there is a short hike that really showcases a lot of the flora and fauna that are here in the Virgin Islands. And it lands you at a really cool water feature. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a very cool water feature, something very unique to check out. And then the short hike back up and over puts you at Foxy's Taboo, which is where you've earned your treat there at the end of a really beautiful hike. Kind of get to check all the boxes that are the Virgin Islands.
Definitely. Fantastic. So what do you guys like to do in the off season when it's not charter season?
Generally, in the off season, I like to go back home on the east coast of Canada in the Maritime provinces, see my family and friends. I normally don't accomplish much because I'm normally gone about 10, 11 months a year. So when I do get back home, it's kind of on slow motion. But one of my favorite television series on History Channel is The Curse of Oak Island. And I follow that very religiously, even while I'm in the charter season. But I do like to basically visit it on the off season and see how many cords of wood they pulled out of the ground, and see if they're making any progress to find that supposed treasure. That's one of my that's one of my go-tos.
Very cool.
When I'm not working, I really look forward to reconnecting with my friends and my family and sharing all the wonderful experiences that I've had here in the Virgin Islands, sharing some of the food that I discovered here or recipes that I've created here, and just enjoying the relaxation with them.
I absolutely have the travel bug, so any chance I get, I like to travel. Whether I'm hopping in the van and exploring some new corner of the United States, or whether I'm going to check out a sleepy little surf break somewhere with great food and new culture, I'm all about it. But I'm always trying to seek out something like that whenever I'm away from the boat.
Very good. All right, Helen, let's talk about some of your food. Describe one of your dishes that guests love, and who or what influences your culinary style.
A very popular dish that I make is my locally sourced mahi fish tacos with also local mango salsa and a cilantro cream sauce. Everyone loves tacos in my experience, and they love the local fresh fish. That's a really popular menu item. I think I was inspired by my both grandmothers, who are really amazing cooks, and I grew up in Southern California, where we have an abundance of fresh produce and a variety of lots of fresh vegetables and such. So I think that really inspired me to create a lot of fresh and delicious dishes.
Absolutely. And well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you sharing all that.
From the crew of sailing vessel Gyrfalcon, thank you very much for watching our video, and we look forward to welcoming you aboard and serving you while aboard and visiting the beautiful Virgin Islands.